Hi guys, I'm here today to film a tutorial on how to use a jersey style wrap with twins. So I tried filming this with my actual twins and they were not having it. So rather than have you having to sit through a video with screaming babies, I'm just going to end up using good old stuffed animal today, but you'll still get the basic idea of it. This wrap that I'm using is a Moby Wrap, which is just a really long piece of jersey type fabric. It has a good amount of stretch to it. I had this with my son, so this is 4.5 years old. As soon as they start to get stretched out, you can wash them, throw them in the washing machine and dryer, and it goes right back to being kind of tight again. They're awesome. I loved these with my son. It's been a little bit harder to use with twins, especially now that they are getting older and bigger to wear them, both at the same time. You obviously can still wear it with one child. But to wear them both together, I'm going to show you how I did that. This was especially helpful when they were itty bitty firstborn, and once they weigh 7 pounds is the requirement to do one of these type of, pretty much any carrier. They need to be that big so that they have a little bit more support, so they are about 12 pounds each now, so it's a lot of baby to wear to you in one wrap. So they don't like it quite as much, which is why they were fussing in the last video, but when they were first born, they did love it, and it was super helpful for running errands, going to church, going to the store, because they were both secure on me. They didn't fall, obviously, out of my arms, and I could reach for stuff, grab things. People didn't try touching them as much, which is nice when they're on you. So another thing I want to say, though, real fast, is this is a Moby Wrap. And the Moby company will not recommend that you use this for twins. And that is because for them to consider this a safe carry, you need to pass over the baby 3 times. And when you have twins, it's only going to pass over twice. Kind of like 2.5, but really twice. I feel personally safe using it. A lot of the twin moms from my twin group and friends that I know use it, but use your own discretion. Obviously, if something happens, you're not going to be able to hold them responsible for it because you're using it in a way that it's not recommended to be used. But I always felt comfortable with it. I always felt it was more than safe, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So I'm going to jump right in to how you use this. So on a Moby Wrap, which is what this is, there's a little tag, and that marks the center of your wrap. Like I said, this is really long. I don't even know how many feet of fabric it is. Probably like 15 feet, maybe? I could be wrong, but that's probably going to be my guess. So if you don't have a Moby Wrap, if it's just like a jersey piece of fabric that you use, just find the center of it, and this is going to go right, kind of like at below, like right where your not bra strap would be, but right here in the middle of your chest, not your belly button. You're going to go right above it. So it's going to go high, right in the center. And then you're going to, I kind of like to pull mine up like this. It's easier to work with. And you're going to put it in your center. Wrap it around the back. And you're going to bring one side up this way. And then the other tail up this way. I'm going to try to make sure that they're not too bunched up. Otherwise, it does get hard when you're holding fussy babies trying to get them in. Shh, Weston, quiet. Make sure this stays nice and fitted, but like I said, you're going to cross it over so it's making an X on your back, and that's going to help support the weight of the babies, keep them in there nice and safe. So your next thing you're going to do is take the tails, you're going to pass them through that first loop that we did. Go all the way through, and then so you have the 2 tails like this, and then to create the seats, you're going to cross them. So you're now going to have an X on the front, an X on the back with a loop going over the front of them. Make sure that it's nice and fitted because your wraps will stretch as you're wearing it, so you want to make sure that even if it feels too tight, it's probably good. You just need to be able to get these babies in here. You don't want it to be loose though, for it to have a safe carry. So we have our X in the front, X in the back. We're going to wrap it back around, and you can either tie it in the knot here. I don't like doing that because then you have this long tail thing that you have to worry about sticking on the ground. So I like to pull it back around the front one more time and tie it off to my hip. Now you're just going to tie it basic knot. That's all you got to do. Make sure it's nice and tight. You can do 2 knots if you want to. I always do one that's never come undone for me. So now what you're gonna do is you have it all officially tied. I know a lot of people that if they're running errands will do this part at home and then just leave it like this. That way it's ready to go when you get to your location, the grocery store, wherever you're going. Because of it being so much fabric, you don't always want to tie it out in the middle of the parking lot. I did it multiple times because it doesn't really bug me, but it is going to touch the floor. It's nearly impossible to try and tie this without it touching the floor. So just so that you're aware, you can wear it, it's comfortable, you're going to be able to put your seatbelt on, do whatever you need. You might look a little silly, but who cares? So we're going to grab our first baby, this little blue bear right here, and I'm going to make sure we're going to go find the tail that's going across the back. So if we had an actual baby, we'd be holding them securely in our arms. See, this is the one that goes across the front, but what I mean like that is it goes over. So we're going to start with this bottom one. We're going to take our baby, we're going to put them up on the opposite shoulder, put a hand on the back, and we're going to grab the leg, pull it through, and slide them in. And now you're going to pull your fabric, it's all bunched up right now, and create a seat for them. So this is going to go, it would start like this, you're going to cover it, make sure their whole bottom is securely seated in that tail. Now when they're really little, you're going to take their head, turn it to the side, they can breathe, and it's going to hold them in there. So we're going to make sure that twin is over to the side, like I said, and it's fully covered. Make sure that it's like right in the middle. It's in there. So you're going to keep your hand on this baby bear, and we're going to grab our second twin. Make sure that you have them laying somewhere securely, somewhere safe, so that you can get to them easily. Keeping a hand on this baby, I like to use kind of my arm. I'm going to put the other twin up on the opposite shoulder. We're going to feed it through that second loop. Going to do the same exact thing. Slowly pull them through into that second loop, and then you're going to create a seat for him or her. Pulling it, put the head in. So now they are both in there. You want to make sure that their legs are tucked up into like a froggy position is what I like to call it. It's basically I'm going to make an M. So their bottom being that center point, their knees should be up like a frog, and then their feet should be tucked up. It's hard to do with these baby dolls because they don't have joints. But with a baby, you want to make sure that they're froggied. That's going to make sure that their hips are situated safely on you, that it's most comfortable for especially infants to be in that position. So keeping a hand on your babies, we're going to secure them even more by grabbing that first loop. And we're going to pull it. It's nice and tight all the way up. See that? Oh, the tag ended up on the bottom. That's okay. Like this. And that's going to hold them in. And you're going to want to make sure when they're first born, I like to always tucking their feet up under if they stick out. And then I would tuck it under them in the bottom. And so it creates a nice little pouch. And you have the tie down here at the bottom part. And they are in there. Obviously these are dolls, not real babies. But even with my infants, this is how it would feel. It would feel secure. I have my hands free. I like to, when I'm out, if I'm going to be more active, like to keep a hand on them just in case. You never know, it is a wrap. But it feels very secure, very cuddly. You're getting lots of bonding. They're right on your skin, right by your heart. So for most of the time, as soon as I put them in here, they may fuss for just a second while they're getting used to it and getting adjusted, but they would for the most part fall asleep right away. The part about wearing twins that you want to remember is that your babies are high enough up on your chest. They should be close enough to kiss is what they say. So you want to make sure that just leaning down your head, you can kiss the top of their heads. That means that they are not all the way down here on your chest. A lot of times when I see moms wearing the Mobies, especially the frontward carry, which I hate, it's not safe. They're flailing around. They're like sitting in the mom's stomach. I just want to stop them because the babies don't feel secure. It's not safe. You need to make sure that their airways are open, especially to twins. They have the tendency for their heads to kind of smush in the middle. Make sure you're keeping them apart, that one's maybe a little bit higher than the other, just to keep their airways nice and open. Just check on them often, especially when they're sleeping. Make sure that you can feel them breathing. Make sure that they're in there secure still and safe. But that's pretty much it. I use this a lot in the beginning, especially when my husband went back to work. It was nice just to be able to comfort both of them at once, hold both of them at once comfortably. So that is pretty much it. This is how I wore my twins in the Moby. And then to take it off, you're just going to reverse the steps. So keeping a hand on them, you're going to pull that bottom off. And by this point, remember, if you've been wearing it with babies with actual weight, it will be stretched out, so it's really important that you're keeping your hands on them as you're taking it off. Pull that front one off, the front baby out, make sure their legs are untucked, keeping an arm or hand on them. You're going to lay them down safely. Do the same for the other baby. Untuck their legs, lay them down, and then you just remove your wrap. So let me know if this is helpful to you, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.